Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, where in today's episode we're going to be talking about why does the universe give us what we need versus what we want or what we think we want. There is quite a big distinction between the two, and this video is actually inspired by a conversation that I had with someone that I work with, and their question was exactly framed like this: if the universe does really give us what we deserve, why did I not get that thing that I applied for and I really wanted? So this can be applied to applying for a job. This could be applying to dating, making friends. Like, why did that thing that you really wanted did not manifest in your reality? I am no stranger to this concept, but I also do fully have a grasp of how the universe actually does reward us and how it does actually have our back. And sometimes the thing that we think that we want is not what the universe knows that we don't need. Like, it knows what we need versus what we think we want. So it will give us what we need in order to become the version of self that will be able to handle what we want or will be in alignment with what we want, versus giving us what we want without doing the work and then having that not work out. Because let's be honest, I have been in the situations where if I'm not ready to receive something, it will definitely fall apart, and it has fallen apart because my confidence is not where it's most ideal for it to be in alignment with it. Fear comes in, past behaviors come in, childhood wounding comes in, anxiety comes in. And then even though I really want that job, I really want to be in this friendship, I really want to be in this connection, I really want to be in this situation, it's not in alignment with who I actually am on the inside. So universe will definitely give me what I need in order for me to become that version of self that is in alignment with that. Or there is something out there that is greater for me that I'm just not able to see. So even though I might think like, I want that job, I want that person, universe is like, no, there's something else there for you that is in more alignment. And then when you receive that redirection, it's not a rejection, it's a redirection. So when you receive that redirection to another job, to more healing, to change your core belief system, to a different person, a different friend coming into your reality, how are you in that process? This is one of the most magical things that we can conquer in life. It's not about receiving no's and setbacks, because remember, every no is an opportunity for a better yes. Every setback is a setup for something better, more serving, and everything is always happening for us. So when I was talking with this beautiful soul and like essentially just guiding through the disappointment, because I fully understand disappointment. My middle name should be Disappointment. I should be Anna Disappointment Morphides. So this is Anna Morphides, my New Hearts Counseling, professional counselor now and life skills coach, soon to be registered. And I do also hold a biopsychology degree. So I've been studying human behavior and our patterns, like our core belief system, the energy that rules our world, essentially, physics, quantum physics, chemistry, you name it. I've been studying because I've been trying to understand, why have I not been getting what I wanted in my life? But I was always given what I needed, and I didn't even know that. So when I would receive a no, universe really wanted me to be super secure in knowing that a no turns into a better yes. And not only that, then there's like the core beliefs, right? So if I want to be chosen for a job, or I want to be chosen for a relationship, I want to be chosen for a friendship, universe might be like, well, actually, I don't want you to be in that state yet. I actually want you to be in the state of knowing when you are not chosen that you're also going to be okay. I'm going to give you a test, and I want to see how you are in the face of adversity. How do you handle not being chosen? Do you let that ruin your day? Do you let that affect your behaviors later on? Do you let that allow you to not reach out to perhaps a new friend, or pursue a different connection? Does it take away from your confidence to apply for another job? Maybe universe wants to teach us how to be in the face of not being chosen and not give that any meaning and be okay. Like, how are we? Because I guess it's one thing to shed the core belief and need to be chosen in order for us to feel worthy and okay. Like, that's step number one, right? So we do the work, we start to choose ourselves, we increase our self-confidence, we understand what our worth is, we don't people please, we keep doing the work, the affirmations, tapping to release stored past narratives that live in our body, because the body does keep the score. But then when we are given a test and we think we want that job, say in the scenario, and universe is like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to actually test you to see how you are in the face of not being chosen. Do you let the narrative in your head go sideways? Do you beat yourself up? Like, how are you in the face of that scenario? So I truly feel that this was the golden nugget in this situation with this beautiful soul that I worked with, because they were questioning everything. But then when we can be in a power seat, or a position of power, where we are sitting and we are just observing what's happening and we're not giving it any meaning, and we're like, okay, I wasn't chosen for this, but I'm going to be chosen for something else. Because when I'm not chosen for a specific job, person, friendship, I don't beat myself up. I don't give it any meaning. I'm just simply observing, and I know and I trust that a no will turn into a better yes. If this feels like a setback, it's a setup for something better. That is kind of like in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like the order of essentially needs being met and satisfied. So at the bottom you have food, water, shelter, and then at the top we have things like self-actualization. So if we give ourselves food, water, we have shelter, we have money coming in, then we start to heal our wounds. And then we go into this state of like self-actualization, where our vibration becomes so high, and we literally become the book, The Four Agreements. I'm not sure if you guys know of this book by Miguel Ruiz, where the four agreements are: you don't take anything personally, you don't give meaning to things, you always do your best, and you stay true to your word, I believe is the other one. He also came up with a fifth one. I don't know what it is, but I can look it up. Yeah, and Eckhart Tolle talks about this, Oprah Winfrey talks about this. I think all the great spiritual leaders, I would say, Louise Hay, even scientists like Joe Dispenza. I was going to say Deepak Chopra, because he is an MD, but I'm not so sure about his credibility these days about other things. But anyways, that's a whole other story. But they all highlight this idea. Oh, even Mel Robbins, right? Mel Robbins, like the idea of not giving no's a meaning, not giving things a meaning, is like the most powerful position that you can be as a human being, because we do develop a core belief system, and those become our lenses of perception, right? For situations, interactions that we have with potential employers, employments, platonic connections, romantic connections, anything really. The way that we view the world is tainted by those core beliefs. So universe will give us situations and opportunities to heal our core beliefs, and then to see how do we stand in the face of not receiving what we think we want. So now it tests a little bit our faith. Are you giving meaning? Are you still giving a meaning to things, or how are you in the face of adversity? So when I was talking with this beautiful soul, and essentially the only thing that we can do in a situation like that is to keep a positive perspective and trust the process and know. Like when you have unwavering faith that a no turns into a better yes, and a setback is an opportunity for a new setup, and you don't give that thing a meaning, like that I must not be good enough, they didn't choose me, I didn't get chosen, and then you go into a negative narrative about yourself, that feels detrimental, and it will create emotions and feelings and will drive behaviors that are not going to be serving us. But if we can, like, I was going to say manage, but that's not even the word. If we can master being able to be in the situations and be able to not give that quote unquote disappointment meaning, and just take it for face value and know that we're just being redirected, not rejected, we're being redirected. Imagine how different that feels. Excuse me. And then we give gratitude to the universe, to that person, to that job, for essentially not holding us to something that wouldn't be best for us in the first place, but we just cannot see that, right? A lot of our core woundings, sometimes the way that they taint us is in a way that like creates attachment in order for us to feel worthy, to feel valuable, to feel secure, to feel this, to feel that, to feel validated. But once we're able to not attach to anyone and or anything, especially a yes, like not be like the ability to not attach to a yes in order for us to know that we are worthy and we are good enough and we are going to be taken care of and we are going to be redirected and we are going to receive exactly what we are needing. Like that is magic. Like that is the power of living life in the best way possible and having the highest frequency that you can have, according to David Hawkins' diagram of the human emotions, like the scale of human emotions, which are measured in hertz, and like energy is everything, and guilt and shame are like super low. Then we have like acceptance sort of in the middle, and then we have like love and gratitude that are a bit higher, and the predominant emotions that are higher, they have like a more beautiful perspective in life view, and of course those will drive more beautiful behaviors because you're gonna keep your head up high and you're gonna keep going, and yeah, you just have this unwavering trust and faith. And then I know that this beautiful soul that I was working with, they said, what did they say? Something along the lines of like, I'm not sure if I'm with you on this, but it's not like I have a choice. And then my response was, yeah, like honestly, that is our choice. Like our choice is either we're gonna take that and give that like a terrible meaning and beat ourselves up and let it ruin our day, or we can give it a meaning and a perspective that is serving us and know that it's not rejection, it's redirection to something that is more serving us, and keep doing the work. Like apply for that job, pursue that connection, put yourself out there, and know that you're worth boundaries. And the more that you embody the person that knows that the worth to have boundaries and they know what's not right for them, it's just not going to come into alignment with them. And perhaps universe will bring us situations to elevate our state of being so we can become that version, to have that thing that we envision in our head that is what we want. or something else that we couldn't even imagine the magnet of could come in and meet us. Like same with me, and say like this YouTube channel. When I first started, actually even a few months ago, if you watch the progress of how I'm even speaking into the camera, is really vastly different. I was a person that believed I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, bound to be rejected, just unlovable, unlikable, like all these things. And then slowly, as I wanted to build this channel and share this information that I'm learning through school, I realized that I couldn't be a successful person in this, like, I guess in this job, or it's not even called a job, position, if I wasn't really sure of who I was, if I didn't really own my voice, if I felt really confident, if my self-concept was not at its best, like I wouldn't be able to handle this. And if I, in the face of criticism, or say that I wanted to, I've asked to be, to work with other people, like on podcasts and stuff, and I've gotten a no, but I now know that it's just wasn't meant to be for me. Whereas before, I'd probably like cry about it. And not that I still don't cry. Of course I feel disappointment, and I've had a lot of disappointment in my life. And I also know that because of the way that I grew up, which was full of disappointment, a lot of that was alive in my body. And like my adult experiences would bring that out, just to bring light to it, that it needs to be shed. And I've been doing the work. And sometimes I get upset because I'm like, my gosh, universe, like how much work do I need to do still? But I'm also realizing that I've come a long way, and I don't give things meaning. And, but we easily can. I can easily be like, oh wow, like only 11 people watched my last video. It must really suck. Or I can take that one comment that says like, thank you so much, you're changing my life, and just know that I'm okay. Like, even if it's just one person, it doesn't have to be like 1 million. But then I don't make that mean anything about myself, if that makes sense. But I also know that universe won't give me what I quote unquote want unless it's giving me everything that I've needed to become the best version, or even know in the face of a no that there is another better yes waiting for me. And like my favorite teacher says, if you take something and you pursue it to the fullest of your passion with no attachments to any outcomes or expectations, you'll know if it's meant for you or if it's not meant for you. But also becoming the highest and best version of myself is also an individual, that when I receive a no, or if I'm not chosen, I don't make that mean anything about myself, but I also don't stop choosing what I want to do. I also don't stop choosing myself. I also don't stop, choosing me, like doing that very same thing that I want to avoid. How can I be okay in the face of that and know that it's not meant to hurt me? It's actually just meant to be a stepping stone, like an opportunity for something different, or an opportunity for me to elevate myself. And I'm a believer that just because we get a no once doesn't mean that we can't reapply for that same job, or I guess we can't necessarily pursue the same person because if it's a no. But we also know that if we elevate our frequency, the energies between like a person or that opportunity, that job, also shift and change, right? Like that's quantum physics. It has no other choice but to change. So if that's happening, then that person might be able to be in your frequency and meet you, and like it can become, and it can like fruition into a lovely connection. Or that job, now that you've worked on yourself, is going to be part of your actual reality because you're like fully ready for it. Like we don't know, we just have to trust the process. Or I shouldn't say have to trust, it serves us best to trust the process, because that's the choice and perspective that keeps us in a high vibe. And believe me, it is a struggle. It's not easy. I'm not sitting here preaching and saying that my life is so great and I have figured it out, but I also know what I felt like before doing the work, and I know what I feel like now, and how I perceive life, how I interpret life, how I don't give meaning to things anymore. I'm just observing. I'm observing. Yeah, so yeah, yesterday I received a couple of disappointing news, but I'm not giving it meaning anymore either, which is like really nice. Do I feel the disappointment? Yes. Do I stay there? No. Do I give it meaning about myself? No. So that means to me that like I've shed my core beliefs that were unhelpful, that like I'm not good enough or I'm unlikable or right. And then I trust the process that I'm just being redirected, because if I choose the opposite like I used to before, then I'd just be crying and on the floor all the time. I used to be called pathetic, and I don't want to label that. I don't want to label that myself. Like, but when I look at that poor little 20-year-old, like it felt not pathetic. It felt like so disheartening. Like it's so sad to see me, myself, my younger self, like curled up in the ball and be like, choose me, love me, pick me. Why is this happening to me? Like, why? Like, and now that I know that we have power and full control over our experiences and who we want to be and how we want to feel, it's a perspective way we shed our core beliefs, we heal our attachment style if we're not secure, because almost 50% of us do not have a secure attachment style, which means we don't have the most wonderful self-view of self and others, and that prevents us, right, from like truly living our best life and viewing the world without a taint. Like we're not always able to view the world in its sexuality. We give it meaning. That's why in relationship counseling, like you have two truths, one person's truth, the other person's truth, because everyone views things differently through their core beliefs. And then there's just the facts, right? Then it's just like the facts of life. And that's where we want to be. Just facts. Okay. And no turns into a better guess. Right? Like it's not rejection, it's redirection. Like something else is going to pan out. We don't have to give that. Like that's the seat that you want to be in. And that's like super duper magical. Okay. I'm going to stop my video right here. I have a ton of videos on this channel, like healing core beliefs, understanding what your core beliefs are, healing your anxious attachment, increasing self-love. If you take a minute and sit and you see like, what is it that you might be needing to elevate your soul's growth in this moment? Because something magical also happens as we do approach our 40s, like the 30s going to the 40s, according to human development. A person wants to live out their authentic self. So we will get pushed into situations and circumstances that will trigger us to do that very same thing. And if there's anything that you wanted me to make a video on, if there's a trigger that you're feeling, it will be my honor, not just pleasure, to do so and share all this amazing information that I've learned through all my schooling. And of course, if you liked anything about this video, thumbs up. If you're listening on a podcast or YouTube, thank you so much. Any subscriptions, any interaction, like anything is welcome. And I'm so grateful for it all. And I will see you next time.